So today we're back in St. Louis. The past 4 or 5 days we were on a cruise. We got Maz back. We've got Russet. And I must admit it was fun, but I was ready to get back to what I'm used to, these heathens. Being on vacation, it's nice, but it's not, you good, buddy? Maz, get off over now.
Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he's fine. Mine, he's okay. Yeah, being on vacation is fine, but when it's not something you're familiar with, it can be a bit different, especially being on a boat with 3,000 people. I'm not used to being around 10 people, so that was very out of my comfort zone, but I did it. I needed a break. Me and my girlfriend both went. We both needed a break, but every single day, these dogs were on my mind. I reached out to Trevor over at Fit Billy Kennels. I told him, I'm like, I'm on this boat and I'm thinking about these dogs. I can't wait to get back to these dogs. And he's like, I understand, man. But we're here now. We're gonna get back to it. They fasted Saturday and Sunday. I'll be feeding them all this week. They'll fast again on Saturday and Sunday. Next week, I will be trying to get them to a park at least. That's the most public place I can get them in right now. A lot of stores aren't accepting dogs, especially American Bully, Pit Bull. They aren't accepting these breeds. So next week I will try to get them to a park with at least some a nice volume of people. Maserati did okay for his first 3 days while he was at boarding. I was calling him, checking in on him, and they were telling me that they couldn't get hands-on with him because every time that they would try to go into his room, of course, what I expected, he would growl at them, he would back into a corner. Once they try to open the door, he'd charge the door. By the end of course you're eating on something. Press it. By the end of the third day, I called, and one of the ladies, I believe her name is Nancy over at Camp Pausing Clause, she told me that they still couldn't get physical with Maserati. But then maybe about an hour or 2 hours later, I checked their Facebook page because that's where they were posting the updates. There was a picture of him. So in my head, I'm thinking, like, in order to get this picture of Maserati, they needed to get hands-on with him. They needed to go in his room, put the leash over him, walk him outside, get them out there to play with them, and get this picture. So I called, and they was like, yeah, we were able to get hands-on with him. He was a bit iffy getting out, but after, I guess they did a self-introduction with him, he was very social. Like, everybody could pet him, walk in his room, grab on him. But those first 3 days, they were telling me he was just really standoffish, and that's kind of what I expected with him because he's like that with everyone. Some people he's never warmed up to. Every time he sees them, he's ready to bite at them. Russet, they told me he did perfectly fine every day that he was there. One of the issues that he was giving them was he would get outside and he gets really excited, and the same thing that he did to them, he does with us. He comes outside, he's ready to play, he gets excited, and he's jumping directly up in our faces. And he was doing that to the workers, and he actually busted one of the poor girl's lips. I guess they didn't know that. I actually should have warned them about him jumping like that, but I didn't. So unfortunately, he jumped up, hit the girl in her mouth, and busted her lip. And he got a couple other workers like that, but nobody was injured. So she told me that they learned fairly fast, which is reasonable. You got a pit bull jumping in your face, you're gonna learn how to move. But other than that, they did pretty good. I'll be checking their poops today. Russet pooped earlier when I brought them home, and it was pretty solid. I did package their meals before we left. Every bowl was filled to the brim. So I assume Maserati's poop was solid too, but I haven't seen him do it since he's been back. So I will be checking that. What time is it? It is 2:59, so within the next 3 to 4 hours, once the sun starts to set a bit, I will get out here and do some work with them. I didn't do any work with them 2 days before we left just because I wanted them to get in a routine of just being chill. Since they were going to be boarding, I knew that they weren't going to be doing any work. Nobody was going to get outside with them. Interruption, but I knew that nobody was going to be in there getting spring poles and flirt poles and getting out there working with them, bite tugs, none of that stuff. So they were pretty much in their room chilling the entire time. So those 2 days before we left, that's what I had them doing. I had them chilling, laying down, eating. That's all they were doing. So later today, we'll try to get back in the groove of getting them to do some work. And if they tire out quickly, then I know to take it slow. But if they're just punching it and doing exactly what they're supposed to do, then we're fine. Trying to see what else. It's pretty much all I got right now. So I will be providing a brief update within the next 2 to 3 days. So be looking out for that. Take care of your dogs.